Well, let's look at what Elgato did today. They released a new capture card to replace HD60X. It's called 4K-S. Perfect for Nintendo Switch 2 capture. I've been using it with my Switch 2 for the last little while, so I want to get into it and talk about 4K-S. So anyways, let's get into it. So Elgato did provide 4K-S as part of this review. I'm part of the Elgato Ambassadorship program, so I just want to disclose that before I move forward with this review. Well, I missed some stuff. I had this video all edited and done, but I realized I missed a few capture resolutions, so I wanted to go over it real quick. But these resolutions I'm talking about right here are important if you're looking to do a 2 PC setup. So with 4K-S, Elgato added 1080p, 240 capture and SDR, 1440p, 144 and SDR, and 1440p, 144 pass-through and HDR. I just want those capture and pass-through resolutions to be known, because that's even more upgrades over HD60X. 4K-S does have ultra-wide support, and it works with ChatLink Pro. I don't have a ChatLink Pro right now, so I can't really comment on it, but if you want to find out more, check out elgato.com. They have resources there that you can check out. During this review, I just used the Switch 2, and I did a little bit of capture footage with Xbox Series X. So think about this with 4K-S with consoles. You'll see me at the end of the video with my overall thoughts with 4K-S. So anyways, back to the video. 4K-S is Elgato's new USB capture card. Here are the official specs of 4K-S if you want to go and look over them. Mainly, it's an HDMI 2.0 capture card. It can do pass-through up to 4K 60 and HDR10, and it can capture 4K 60, 1440p 120, and SDR. And it has variable refresh rate support. So 4K-S works with Windows, Mac, and iPad. But I'm going to show how to set it up on Windows for this video. To use 4K-S, take the included USB-C cable and plug it into 4K-S, and then plug it into your Windows computer. I usually plug it into the back of my motherboard. So take the HDMI from the console. So let's say it's the Switch 2. So take the HDMI out from the Switch 2 and plug it into the HDMI into 4K-S. And make sure the AC power adapter is plugged in the Switch 2. Now, on 4K-S with the HDMI out, you're going to take the included cable that comes with 4K-S, and then you're going to plug it into 4K-S. Then you're going to plug that HDMI cable into your monitor or TV. Then you're going to go to OBS. You're going to go to Sources. You're going to hit plus. Then you're going to hit Video Capture Device. Name it. Click OK. And select 4K-S. Pick Resolution. Hit OK, and you're good to go. Also, download Elgato Studio for any updates you need to do. I'm going to mention Elgato Studio later on in this video, but right now, I want to talk about HD60X compared to 4K-S. HD60X is getting replaced with 4K-S. So what is 4K-S adding compared to HD60X? Well, 4K-S is going to be adding capture in 1440p 120, and it's going to be adding 4K in 60. And that's why I said it's like ideal for the Switch 2, because the Switch 2 you can game in 1440p 120 and 4K 60. But you're able to capture this with this capture card. Well, with like Elgato's mid-range USB capture card. I will say it's easier to use 4K-S over HD60X when I'm capturing the Switch 2 and my Xbox Series X, because I have a 1440p monitor, and with HD60X, I would have to use a custom EDID. Like, they have their 1440p EDID, and it works really well with HD60X. But 4K-S added 1440p 120 and SDR capture. So whenever I'm capturing or streaming a game, my resolution and frame rate are going to be the same on my Switch 2 and my Xbox as when I pass it through on my monitor. So that's a really nice thing to see. Also, 4K-S is going to be $20 cheaper than HD60X, because HD60X is $179.99, while 4K-S is going to be $159.99. So the pricing's good, but what about the design of it? It's literally the same. Like, I don't see any difference at all. Hey, Elgato, you know you're doing like custom drops? Why don't you do a custom drop on your capture cards? Hey, 4K-S, now in blue. But 4K-S's design is clean and sleek like HD60X and 4KX, so it's not broken. There's no need to change it, but it's just something to consider in the future. And that's basically it. They both can do 1080p 60 FPS HDR capture. They both can pass through 4K 60 and HDR. It just all depends on your personal capture needs. So what HDR can 4K-S do? 4K-S has HDR10, So like you can pass through HDR10 in like 4K 60, or you can capture in 1080p 60, but also it has HDR to SDR tone mapping. It just takes the HDR signal and it puts it in SDR for me. So I'm able to record or stream my content in SDR, which is really handy for Twitch. And even for me, I do SDR content, so it's easier. And also, considering a lot of time I'm playing 1440p 60 or 1440p 120, it will convert it into an SDR, so I'm able to capture my content in the same frame rate and resolution. It just won't be in HDR. Okay, so now I want to talk about the input latency of 4Ks. The capture latency of 4Ks is 30 ms according to Elgato. I used it in a few streams testing out with Mario Kart World with the OBS preview window and having like my chat in the corner, and it worked pretty great. I couldn't tell the difference between the input latency for the capture and the pass-through. But if I want my input latency to be as best as possible, I'm gonna use the pass-through. So if I'm playing a first-person shooter or a fighting game, I'm gonna use that. And also when I was gaming on 4Ks, the audio was pretty on sync too. So when I was streaming, it was good. It came out nice and clear, and it just works. 4Ks has variable refresh rate. It matches your game's refresh rate with your display's refresh rate. So if you're playing a game that supports it, you get 0 input lag and 0 screen tearing. Pretty much, it's just smooth gameplay. It's a really nice feature to have. So Elgato Studio is their new capture software on Windows and Mac. It's a lot easier to navigate. I like how they have information things on the side so it can tell you what each thing does. And at the top, you can see your input, you can see your capture, and your output. Big fan of it. It's really clean. I did like free firmware updates on 4KX, 4KS, and HD60X on it. Super easy to do on it. They're going to add HDR recording and playback in the future. But when Elgato releases HDR recording and playback, I'll do a quick short on it. Elgato Studio works with Stream Deck, so all you have to do is download the Elgato Studio plugin on Elgato Marketplace. A real simple way to record your gameplay. Highly recommend it. Now the Elgato capture line. So basically, I'm going to go talk about USB capture cards just to keep it like consistent, because I think if you're looking at this capture card, you're probably looking at a USB capture card. Game Capture Neo is $129.99. It has 1080p 60 capture, pass-through 4K 60 and HDR. But I'll be honest with you, with the value of 4KS for like $30 more, you get a lot more pass-through options. You get more capture options. I think it's just a better value. And with 4KS being $159.99, with adding 4K 60 capture with 1440p 120 capture, I think 4KS has the better value. So I would go with 4KS over Game Capture Neo personally. Now, 4KX is Elgato's most powerful USB capture card. It can capture and pass through up to 4K 144. If you're on a 2 PC setup with a monitor, let's say like my monitor is a 1440p 240 hertz monitor, that's where I would use 4KX because I need that pass through. If you don't know which capture card to get, use the Elgato capture card selector. It's a really good way to find out what capture card is best for you. Well, that's my review on 4KS. Elgato did a really good job of releasing a new capture card that is cheaper than their previous one, and it has more features. That's always a win. 4KS gets a strong recommendation from me if you're looking to do console capture or a 2 PC setup depending on your monitor. If you have a 1080p 240 or a 1440p 144, 4KS is a great option. Anyways, thanks for watching. I'll see you next time. It's in the setup. But the main thing is how good the microphone sounds, and I'm using it right now. But I'm gonna go over how to use Wave Neo real quickly. First, you're gonna connect Wave Neo with its included stand or a mic arm like I'm using for this video.